Please join me as we light the chalice, and the words for today are in the order of service. If you have come here seeking comfort, may your pain be soothed. If you have come here looking for answers, may you find new questions.
As the chalice has been lit and as we gather ourselves into this place, may this sacred moment begin to calm our hearts and calm our minds. And I ask you now to take this time to look inside and to breathe deep and experience the presence of this community together. Thank you. Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Low Country. My name is Charlie Tyler. I'm the pastoral minister here. It's a pleasure to have all of you in front of me. Also, those of you who are guests and visitors, especially those who took a risk and came here for your first or second time, we do deeply appreciate that. And you should know that we consider you making us complete here by your presence, and I thank you for that. If this is your first or second time, I'm going to ask you, if you would, to take the yellow cards that you should find in the seat in front of you and fill it out and put it in the offering plate as you come through. What do you think? We all need testing. So as you pull out that yellow card and fill it out, when the plate comes around, if you put that card in the plate, that is your offering to us if this is your first or second time. So please do that so we might know that you have your place here. That would be very honoring of us and helpful in our own work here. If you are a first or second time visitor and are willing to stand and introduce yourself, I'd appreciate that. So I'm looking at this side, the right side of the congregation. Are there any first or second time visitors in that side? In the middle section, first or second time visitors. And on my left, your right. Yes, sir, if you would, please.
Good morning. My name is Herb Egeroff. My wife, Carol, down here. And we were invited by the Dinwitties, Sue, and Patsy. We've seen many friendly faces already.
Very good.
Right there. So we're glad to be here. And one right there.
We are everywhere, just so you know. Thank you for being here. Anybody else on the right side? Thank you all for coming. Those of you who are longtime members, you know why you are here. You understand and know the community that you've come into, the like-mindedness, the care, the compassion that brings us together in a way that encourages us. I have a lot of announcements this morning. I will do my best to move through them as quickly as possible, but also so that you can hear and understand them. Some of you, when you came in today, you saw a very beautiful sunrise that was recorded by Brian Cuervo. We're beginning to build a process, use a process of recording nature videos in our Low Country, as well as using some that have already been produced for us by YouTube. And in the morning, about 1:15, give or take, there will be a video that will be up here that should be soothing and in touch with nature. Brian writes this, and I want to share it with you. We all love and are inspired by the natural beauty surrounding us. And he and I both thought a great way for us to share this is by showing our own nature videos, just like Brian shared his today. And if you want to share a short video of a personal experience in the great outdoors, make a copy of that or get that to Brian, whatever magical way things go to Brian, please do so. And it'll be shown before service, and it'll also be stored in a part of the YouTube channel that we have under nature videos. Is that up there? Yeah. So that's where you can go and find yours or others that have been posted that we might be able to gather together around those videos. You can see on the big screen behind me that what your YouTube channel looks like, and the playlist tab is circled in red. Brian will place these videos in Nature Videos playlist where you can watch them anytime. You all know that we stream our services. Did you know that we also record all of our services so you can also watch them anytime you like on this channel? Well, you will also notice the Sunday service playlist that contains over 100 of our previous services for you to watch at your leisure. So take note of that, and I hope that we can begin a process of building up a playlist of nature videos. Go down to one of the 5,000 beaches that are close to us and just turn on your video and your camera, take 10 minutes and bring them to us, and we'll show them one Sunday morning. We're continuing to look for individuals who will be helping in the nursery. Please speak with Ann Harrison, if you would, about that. Hospitality volunteers for the ministers that rotate through our area on a yearly basis. We're still looking for those. I think we have greeters. Is that right? We have enough greeters, or we need more greeters? We need greeters until further notice. I have here the coffee donation jar that's going to go back in just a moment. And so please pay attention to that as you go through your day. And also, Kathleen, I've lost it. There is the summer dining sign-up times. There's a sign-up sheet in the back. If you would sign up for this and put it in this gold box, then we will get that information to you. And so, Kathleen, if you would, I'm going to get you to take this back. Thank you. Oh, here it is. The membership committee is pleased to invite you to follow that gold box. Is pleased to invite you to the summer small group dining sign-up forms on the table in the lobby. Put the completed form in the gold wrapped box that Kathleen is clutching as she leaves the sanctuary. The deadline to sign up is June 7th. It's already on us. If you will be here in the summer, this is a great way to deepen your connections with the other UUCL members in our community. The other thing that there's a couple things that are in your bulletin. You'll see Rod McDonald will be with us on October 17th. We look forward to having him here and you being here to support him. You see that our May theme is curiosity. We're going to come back around to that in just a moment. The May Growth Team Challenge is to think of one person in your life. Between the ages of 18 and 35, young adults are looking for exactly what we have here. We just need someone to open the door. So be thinking about that age group and reach out to them. The Job Brothers Traveling Storytelling Open Mic Saturday will be with us June 20th. You will want to be a part of that. We have some great times whenever Pat Job and his brother are here with us. And you see the announcement concerning the book club. Please take the opportunity to be a part of that. One last thought before we have the opening words is that we be reminded of the Native American tribes who were and are the original stewards of the lands around Malthus Road. They were the Escaboo, the Escamanchu, and the Yamasee. Always hold them in your heart. This morning, as we turn our attention to curiosity, and I've been focusing on that with some of the midweek messages, I'd like for you to be aware that I will be taking our attention to ask the question, curiosity, what is, to ask, what if, and ask, what about? And I'd like to try and offer a few suggestions in the message later on today. You also see that we have a business meeting that we will be taking part in. We will be abbreviating the service just a little bit so that we can get to that service and get to that part of our lives in a quick manner. So if you would now please take your hymnals into your hands, turn with me if you will to hymn number 101, and may we stand and sing together. If you're able and willing, abide with me.
Abide with me, fast falls the evening tide. The darkness deepens, still with thee abide. When other helpers fail and comfort flee, help of the helpless soul abide. light grow dim, His glories pass away. Change and decay in all around I see. Oh, thou who changest not, abide with me. I fear no foe, with thee at hand to bless. Ills have no weight, and tears no bitterness. Where is the shame? Where grave thy victory? I triumph still if thou abide with me.
Thank you. You may be seated.
This is the time in our service where we share of our abundance. And I'd like to start by thanking everybody that brought food, non-perishable items, to be shared with the local food pantries. We always place them on the back table when you come in. Please remember, there are always the needs. And we also share of our abundance for the work that we do within this beloved community and beyond its walls. If you happen to be our visitor today, please let the basket pass. Just give us your yellow card. Your gift is being here today with us. Thank you for your many forms of generosity.
Good morning. Now's the time when we share our joys and concerns. We share our joys so that we can share and celebrate with you, and we share our concerns so that we can help support you. So when you come up, you can take a stone from the basket, take a moment, think about your joy or concern, and then after you share with us, you can add the stone to the cairn.
Hi, I'm Joanne Melosh, and I want to introduce you to the newest member of our congregation. These are my AI glasses. This does not mean when I walk past you and don't say hello that I recognize you, because it doesn't help me see, but it helps me to read. So just let's hope they work out.
Hi, I'm Kay Sartorius, and I have a concern. Mold has been found in my condo unit. Apparently, it's been seeping for months from a broken valve to the ice maker in my refrigerator, and it's gotten all through the flooring, walls, the cabinets. The entire kitchen has to be torn out. Plus, apparently, it's not really safe to be there. They've got it all cordoned off. So at the present, I'm staying at a friend's condo, but my plans are to fly up to the Washington, D.C. area and spend time with my son. And then he and I are driving up to Michigan to spend some time with my daughter and her family. I'd been thinking about moving on to some kind of retirement community, and this seems like it might be a good nudge to get going. So that's certainly part of the process too. But presently, I just don't know where I'm going to be, except with my son and my daughter for most of this summer. But I'll miss everyone, and I'll miss our services, and certainly your support. But I just wanted to let people know what's going on. You won't see me around for a while. Thank you. We'll miss you, Kay.
And I will take 2 stones, one for the joys and concerns that remain unspoken. And I will place an additional stone in remembrance of children and families who've been affected by gun violence. And now we'll read our affirmation. It's affirmation number 685. What we call a beginning is often the end, and to make an end is to make a beginning. The end is where we start from. We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. Thank you.
So I'm going to need your help now because I have forgotten something that I meant to mention early in the service. A part of this message that I will be sharing with you, hopefully will be sharing with you, is something a little bit of an experiment. I want to interview one of you here in the room today, if you're willing to volunteer. And my plan was, I had this great plan. I thought it out and knew exactly how I was going to do it until I didn't. So what I was going to ask is if you're willing to be interviewed by me for just a few moments, because this is the part of curiosity, because I'm curious about people. If you would write your name on a slip of paper, and as the basket was being passed around, that you put that just your name in there. As you can see, that part got skipped. So I'm going to ask you to do this much, if you would, anyway. If you would, please, if you're willing to, just one of you to volunteer, write your name on that piece of paper. And in a few moments, I'm going to ask those of you that passed the basket to pass the basket again. Don't take anything out of it. And just put your name in that basket. And when they empty the basket out, we will find those names. And then I'll have them drawn out, so it's a surprise. Does that make sense, or have I confused everybody? Okay, very good. I got a thumbs up from Walt, which makes me feel better. So if you would just go ahead and if you're willing to volunteer, just put your name on that. And in a few moments, we'll pass the basket. But let me get started here with this message on curiosity and why it's important to me and why it's significant to me. My intent in this message is not to convince anyone of the significance of curiosity. We're Unitarians, for Pete's sakes. The question is the answer, and we're always questioning, we're always curious, and we're always seeking. But I find that there are individuals in our world that have exhibited extraordinary curiosity. And I wanted to share some of them with you and share some of the themes and the topics that have gotten answered by the question, what is, and what if, and who are, what about? What about? That's what I'd like to try and approach today. That fellowship here is unique in a very real way. Because I'd also like you to know, especially as we begin to think about moving into our business meeting a little bit later on, is we ask the questions ourselves, what if I became a part of this amazing community? And what is it about this people that I find like-minded, this community here? What if I became a part of it? And of course, there's many directions for these questions to take. And I would like to begin asking the question first, like a child. What is? You know, when you can hang around a 5-year-old, they'll ask all kinds of questions for you. They've already asked them of you. Why is the sky blue? Why does the rain come from clouds? Why does dirt taste like this? Those are the things that a 5-year-old are going to ask. And the question and the common theme is, what is that? And there are, of course, thousands, hundreds of thousands of really smart people over the thousands of years that have answered a lot of these questions ahead of us. But I want to introduce you to someone in particular who asked relentlessly, what is? Let me introduce to you Alexander von Humboldt. How many of you ever heard of Alexander von? Raise your hand. Wow, okay, a handful of folks know him. Humboldt was born in 1769 to a very wealthy and powerful Prussian family, and he had a lot of things that were in his favor, but he traveled extensively and began asking questions about the interconnectedness of all things. And of course, as Unitarians, anytime the word interconnectedness gets used, it has my attention and should have ours. And he began to travel and to discover and ask the question, what is this? How is this connected? What is this thing? And how do we begin to see it? He wrote extensively, and he was so well respected in his time with his writings, especially his book titled Cosmos. We all think that Carl Sagan wrote it first. Humboldt wrote it first. And Cosmos was beside Darwin on the Beagle, was in the hands of Thoreau, was in the hands of John Muir when he walked the redwoods. He already had that reputation. The naturalists in the world wanted to know what Alexander von Humboldt was thinking and how he got to where he went. One of his first astounding displays was his cross-section of his essay on the geography of plants. Pay attention to you plant people. This was based on the novel idea of studying the distribution of organic life as affected by varying physical conditions. This was most famously depicted in the cross-section of the mountain Chimborazo in Venezuela. He estimated and he broke it down into the many different levels and different parts, including the way in which plant life was affected by temperature, altitude, humidity, atmosphere, pressure, the plants and the specifics that were found on each elevation. And when he began to use the word cosmos, he revealed something that was important. He didn't talk about the universe. He talked about cosmos, and he chose that word deliberately. Because that word in the original language, it comes from a Greek word, which means orderly. By the way, that's where cosmetics comes from, that word. Think about that a little bit. And he began to write from his understanding of the orderliness of the world. But the impact of Alexander von Humboldt was absolutely extraordinary. I have a book that has made its way into my library. It's called The Invention of Nature, and it's a biography of Alexander von Humboldt. And what he did and how he did it is absolutely breathtaking. I recommend it to have in your library for reference or for any other part of your work life. And I want to read to you a section from this. This is in the prologue, and it gives an introduction of a little bit about the impact that von Humboldt had in his world. The author of this, whose last name is W-U-L-F, Wolf, writes, "His name lingers everywhere from the Humboldt Current running along the coast of Chile and Peru to dozens of monuments, parks, mountains in Latin America, including the Sierra Humboldt in Mexico, Pico Humboldt in Venezuela, a town in Argentina, a river in Brazil, a geyser in Ecuador, a bay in Colombia. All are named after Humboldt. There are the Cap Humboldt, the Humboldt Glacier in Greenland, as well as the mountain ranges in northern China, South Africa, New Zealand, and Antarctica. There are rivers and waterfalls in Tanzania, New Zealand, as well as parks in Germany and in Paris. The North America alone has 4 counties, 13 towns, mountains, bays, lakes, and a river named after him, as well as the Humboldt Redwood State Park in California, Humboldt Parks in Chicago and Buffalo. The state of Nevada almost was called Humboldt when it was constituted, and it goes on and on and on. This gentleman asked the question, what is, and would not stop. And so I think inside of ourselves to ask the question, what is, and how we might find it and move further forward in our own lives is a part of what it means to be curious in our world and to find out more about who we are and what it's like to be us. Next question that can be asked in curiosity is what if? This is where things become hypothetical, and this is also where fabulous things begin to come out. We can judge, Carl Sagan wrote, we can judge our progress by the courage of our questions and the depth of our answers, our willingness to embrace what is true rather than what feels good. Yeah, that's how we are able to judge our progress as a humanity. There's a story that was once told of Bertrand Russell as he was giving a lecture on astronomy, and there was a woman in the room that insisted that the Earth was not a sphere, but was flat and was actually created on the back of a turtle. Bertrand Russell said, "What's the turtle standing on?" And she responded, "Well, it's turtles all the way down." That's the way that we begin to move past ourselves and not be able to understand what's really in front of us. And doing research for this message, I discovered more people believe that the Earth is flat today than they did 2,000 years ago. Yeah. There's a lot to that later. But the question, what if, leads to heart transplants, lung transplants, mRNA vaccines. What if leads to Orville and Wilbur from a bicycle shop in Dayton, Ohio, to Kitty Hawk in North Carolina, and never forget their sister, Kristen, who made it all possible in their lives. What if sends men to the moon and more recently sends back pictures of the dark side, more complete and detailed than ever seen before, plus Earthrise and Earthset and a 1 hour long solar eclipse. All of this from what if we go to the far side of the moon just a little bit further? What if human consciousness doesn't just proceed from our brains, but our brains actually act as a receiver of a larger, more global consciousness of which all of life is a part and to which we are all connected? What if that is so? And what if there are more than one universe? What if we can travel faster than the speed of light? What if? So when we begin to ask the questions, what is, and we begin to ask the questions, what if, we see what can unfold. Let me tell you, first of all, is there anyone who's willing to sign that sheet of paper? Sign a little? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Would you hold it up? please? Let me ask somebody to collect them, and I'll draw them out of a basket. You see how prepared I am for this? Thank you. Yeah, excellent. Just collect them and we'll draw. So while this is happening, I would like for you to know that in another part of my life, I sit down with total strangers on a regular basis. And I begin to ask, as a hospice chaplain, I begin to ask very difficult questions and try my best in a very short period of time to understand the person and the people that are in front of me. That's a part of what I do in my world. And so I'm very curious about people. What about you? What about who you are? Where do you come from? Those are the things that I'm curious about. Wow, this is becoming more than I imagined. If we could get them all in one. Wow, you guys are curious. Okay. Okay, that's in there. Okay, thank you. Would you ask Betsy to pull the name?
All righty. She drew her own. What if it's right?
There is a podcast that I'm very fond of. It's called Strangers on a Bench. No, I just want a loose chair. Yeah, I just wanted to get, yes, if you would, please. Thank you. Will be for you in just a second, Betsy. There is a podcast that I came across. It's called Strangers on a Bench. And one of the things that was most remarkable about Strangers on a Bench is that's exactly what it was. It was a gentleman who was a musician in England, and he began walking through parks in England, finding a stranger on a bench, sitting down beside him and said, "I'm making a podcast about strangers on a bench. I'm wondering if I can talk to you for just a moment." And it occurred to me, I was very fascinated with that whole principle, because in a very real way, that's what I do. I'm a stranger that walks into people's lives and starts asking intimate and difficult questions. And so that's a part of what I would like to be able to demonstrate to you today. And Betsy, because she loves me, this will be fine, I think. So Betsy, I'm going to ask you to sit here because you are the stranger on the bench. I don't want you to see them or they to see you. Pretend they're not there, all 80 of them. And one of the things I like to do is ask people about their childhood. One afternoon, I was meeting with a patient, and I said, "Can you tell me where you were born?" Stunned, she said to me, "I was born in the northwest bedroom of my grandfather's house." I had no idea that could be an answer. Way out in the Iowa cornfields, that's just where she came from. And so we talked a little bit about that. So Betsy, where were you born?
Washington, D.C.
Tell me, hold up. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Tell me about the house that you were born in. You remember it?
I was born in a hospital.
Tell me about the house that you grew up in.
I grew up in a lot of different houses because we traveled because of my father's work. But I do remember the house we lived in from the time I was in second grade until the time I was 16.
When you looked out the window of your bedroom,
Mhm.
what did you see?
I saw a beautiful backyard and a little shed where I used to keep a rooster.
Did the rooster have a name?
Yeah, it did. I don't remember.
Oh. So what is it that you remember fondest about that house?
I remember that my room, I had my own room, and I used to dance around in it.
We're not surprised.
Oh.
So you left there when you were 16.
Yep.
Things began to change.
Yep.
One of the other questions I often ask people is about their spouse, they're married.
Mhm.
And so a question that I delight in is finding out how you met Mike. Can you tell me how the two of you met?
Yes, we met at a professional conference. The subject was male victims of sexual abuse.
Lightweight kind of.
Yeah, I mean, really.
Casual, bridge,
Mhm.
and sexual abuse. So when you first saw Mike, what was your first thought about
I thought he looked really gloomy.
him? Gloomy?
Yep,
Yeah.
gloomy.
Did you tell him that?
I probably did. Yeah, he was.
Did you know that he thought you gloomy?
No.
He had just.
This is the part that I love most.
He was just recovering from a separation. And so he was kind of in transition with his feelings about that.
Does that make sense to you, Mike? Yes. Yeah. So what do you remember about when you first met, first met Betsy? Forgot about that. Go ahead.
I was sitting 2 seats. Oh, actually, no, before I didn't really meet her. I was at this conference sitting near the back, and these two lovely women were walking up the front of the conference room, and then they sat themselves down. And I thought, this is on Prince Edward Island, so I knew everyone, but I didn't know these two women. I thought, oh, this is interesting. And then the conference person, the fellow who was leading the conference, asked us to talk to someone, just to turn to someone. And by that time, I'd moved down to the front row.
Did you know this was happening, Betsy? This strategy. Okay.
And there were 2 or 3 seats between us, but we were the only people in the first row. So we looked at each other, and I moved over, or she moved over. Which was it, Bets? And we interviewed each other a little bit. It was you talk for 1 minute and the other person must listen without interrupting. And then you can change places.
What an interesting way to start your relationship. Yeah. Betsy, any thoughts to that first conversation, or do you remember it?
Oh, yes, I remember. Well, I really wanted to move to Canada, to move to Nova Scotia, and I hadn't been able to find a way. My profession was, they didn't need me. And I didn't have a great deal of money, which was the other way to get in. But there was another way. And I said to Mike, I said, yeah, I said, I need to find a Canadian man to marry so that I can get into the country. And that's what I said.
Mike wishes to respond.
That's nice.
Oh, that's nice? Yes, she's looking for a green card, right? So I'm just going to pause right here. What do you all know Betsy a little bit better? Can you picture her in her bedroom with the chicken in the backyard? Rooster. Excuse me. In the morning, 5 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is just a little bit, and I didn't ask them what they did for a living. I don't ask them anything about that. But they have both revealed things about themselves and about their relationship that's important to them and important to me. And I think thank you, Betsy. Let's give Betsy a round of applause for that. You're a delight. Your heart. So when I ask questions, that's some of the things I start to do. Let me tell you about the answer to the question I just got the other day. How did you meet your wife? He said to me that she walked into the room and everybody could see that I noticed her. And a friend said, I bet you $5 you don't ever get a date with her. Best bet he ever took. Those are the things that I get to find out about people's lives and who they are. Thank you for participating in that. And one of the things that I want to ask, this is closing thoughts, and then I'm going to turn this over to David. One of the things that I hope that we always are doing here is staying curious. Just stay curious. If you start to lose your curiosity, go find a 5-year-old someplace and have that person walk with you, that little child walk with you, just a little bit. They'll reignite your curiosity on a basic level. So that's what I wanted to offer you today in this message. What is, what if, and what about? And I hope that this all makes sense. So thank you for your attention. David, it's time for us to go do other stuff here. So I'm going to turn it over to you. Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry? This may work better if you want to start there. I'll get this one set up for you. Okay. Good morning. I'm David Kelly, your board president, and it's my honor to welcome you all to our annual meeting. It shouldn't go long, maybe 20 minutes, so we can get on to coffee and curlers in the back. If you are a guest, I think we have at least one guest, but if you're a guest and didn't stand up, that's okay too. You're welcome to stay, or if you wish, or if you want to, you can leave. And there's still good coffee and something to eat back there while we carry on with business. We okay, Brian? Okay. I'm just briefly going to go over what the agenda is. It's not long. I'm going to start out, Charlie has some opening thoughts, and then I'm going to hand it off to Sharon Green, who is going to talk about our financial report and the pledge drive, and then the voting results of the budget and the slate of nominees for our new board. And then I'm going to spend a few minutes recognizing some of our leaders and volunteers through this past year. And then we'll close with Charlie on some closing thoughts and extinguishing the chalice. Our secretary today is Kat Duncan, and there she is. Thank you, Kat. Thank you for Barbara Popka. Barbara is out in California at the moment, so she wouldn't be able to be here, and Kat nicely stepped up to fill that void. So with that, I'm going to give this to Charlie. You grabbed your.
So just some of my thoughts here as this pastor in this place is what an extraordinary congregation you are, and how it is that I desire for this congregation to continue to grow strong and have an impact in this community that goes outside these walls. And that's a part of how we answer the questions of how we do our own work. But there is inside of us an extraordinary energy, an extraordinary message, an extraordinary compassion that I'm persuaded that everything outside those doors needs from us. And my hope is that we continue to grow stronger in so many different ways, that we might be able to ask and answer the questions. What is? What if? What about? And we begin to apply those questions to our community as well as to our own souls. So that's a part of where I think about a business meeting that doesn't sound exactly business-like. And you know what? We're not either. Okay? Thank you.
And here comes Sharon.
Charlie, that did not help because I have the business part to talk about. So forgive me for boring you with the business part. I'm Sharon Green. I've been the treasurer here for the last 2 years. And I want to thank everyone for their participation in this painful process we go through every year of creating a budget and staffing the board. We couldn't do it without you, and we do it for you. First, the budget. When we launched our pledge drive in March, we set a goal of $167,000 in pledges. We knew that was a reach, but we had a lot we wanted to do. We didn't quite make it, and when we officially ended the pledge drive, we had received $156,000 in pledges. That's right. So we had to rework our budget just a little bit to get our paperwork out to the congregation so they could vote today on our budget and our slate of officers. And some of you, I think, were able to vote this morning. The bulk of our income, 78%, comes from you, our members and our friends, in the form of pledges and additional money in the plate on Sunday morning. The rest comes from fundraising, the bulk of which is Music on Malfris concerts and the rent that we receive from the various groups that use our building. The bulk of our expenses, 42%, goes to our employees, who we wouldn't be here without: Charlie and Ann and John and Kat. All part-time, all doing more than they get paid for sure. 29% of our budget goes to our building. We have a mortgage, we have utilities, we have all the things everybody has. And the last 29% supports what we actually do. Our guest speakers, our musicians for Music on Malfris, membership, office expenses, it goes on and on. That's what our numbers look like in very broad strokes. We operate very lean here. And actually, if anyone has any questions on the budget, I can take them now, and hopefully I can answer them. Anybody? Anybody? Yay! Yes, Mike. We have income from rental. We have income from our fundraising. And oh, yeah, that is, our fundraising actually is 11% of our, I think, our income. 156 is the pledges. Our total budget for the year is $215,385. And we have that. We anticipate that we will have that. and we are realistic in our expectations. Yes. Yes, we do. We are required by our bylaws to have at least 4 months of operating expenses in reserves at all times, and we always have more than that. Anybody else? Okay. Next to our voting, we have 161 members who are eligible to vote. We need 51% to vote in order to have a quorum, and that would have been 82 votes. We received 90 votes this year in total. With regard to the slate of officers, we received 90 yeses and 0 nos. With regard to the budget, we received 89 yeses and 1 no. So I would say those pass. And that's it. Anything else for me? Oh, I was supposed to announce the officers? Or are you doing that? Okay, good.
Thank you. She does a lot of work for us. Okay. So I'm going to just spend a few minutes recognizing some of our leaders and volunteers through this past year. I'm going to start with the committee chairs. And what I just ask you to do when I call your name, if you wouldn't mind standing up and stay standing. It won't be too long, but I just want you all to get a kind of a sense of the volume of people in our congregation and the things that they do that make our world successful here at UUCL. So starting with worship, we've got Kim and Beth, membership Kathleen, finance Patricia, care was Kathy Zeiser, it's now Candia Pisani, social justice Kathy Zeiser, growth Ashley Trexler, faith development Ann, security and safety Kate and Stu Mace, buildings and grounds was Gary Green, but now, incredibly, we have 3, Darren Duncan, Chris Maelstrom, and Mike Bartholomew. That chair was empty for about 8 months, and these folks stepped up, so thank you very much for that. And okay, so some of you sat down, but what I wanted to ask now, I'm sorry for the up, down, but I think it's kind of fun. Anybody that's here today that participated in a committee throughout the year, anytime in the year, could you also just stand so we get an idea of, besides the chairs, how many other people are engaged in our committees throughout the year? Only take a moment and just kind of look around, and you can see 60% of our attendees here today stood up. So thank you. You can have a seat. Okay. Thank you. I missed it that Patricia, where are you? Finance Committee actually was co-chair, and Linda LaVere, she's right there, is co-chair with Patricia. I'm sorry, Linda, I missed that. Thank you. Next, I'm going to just spend a moment and get my fingers to work. Our staff, which is, you heard, it's not very big, but I wanted to mention that David and Sarah had been our congregational administrator for up through the end of this 2025, but now we have Kat Duncan filling this role. John Shepard with music, and Ann Harrison has been our faith development director for kind of ever. She will be retiring at the end of this month. We haven't identified a new director, but Ann is still our gal. Programs and event leaders. Again, if you wouldn't mind standing up, it won't take long. Stewardship campaign was Kathleen and David Kelly. Kitchen team, Wendy and Anthony Serpi. Path of Belonging, Ann and Charlie. Sunday school, Ann and Amy Hadsel. Music on Melfors, Joanne Melash and Brian Cuervo. Movie night, Hiagwa Cohen and Beth Reinders. Meditation, David Rosenberg and Clay Barnard. Peace Games, Diane Volari. And Women's Lunching Out, Tish Hans. That's it. Lots and lots of people. And now, in the last several years, we've started this special recognition for Volunteer of the Year. And I would just like to ask if Phyllis Baxter would stand up. This will take a couple minutes. Phyllis started helping the Finance Committee with tasks in 2016. She has continued to this day serving as a foundational role for our congregation's finances. Some of the tasks she takes on every week are as follows. She arrives at church every Sunday around 9:30 to make sure everything is set up for the Sunday collection, including identify the team who will be helping her to pass the baskets. Now, I'm just going to take a little side note here because she kind of captains a small legion of people to choose from to pass the basket, and I'm just going to zip through these names. Wynette, Phyllis, Joanne, Kathy B., Lynn, Sharon, Kent, Molly, George, Diane, Linda, Kim, Skip, Marcella, Candida, Beth, Jerry, and Rosemary. Back to Phyllis. After Sunday service, instead of going for refreshments, she, along with another member of the Finance Committee, tallies and sorts all the cash and all the checks in preparation for the bank deposit. That afternoon, she completes a detailed Sunday donations funds collection form and sends this document to the treasurer and the Finance Committee chair. Many Sundays, she completes up to 3 forms, including the Music on Melfors collection form, prepaid pledges collection form, and other fundraising collection forms. On Monday, she prepares the deposits and takes them to the bank. At the end of each month, she completes the monthly income report for our accountant, which helps him produce the monthly finance reports. She also processes the payments for our guest speakers and has been serving on the nomination committee for the past 4 years. I've been working with her. She's a pleasure. Phyllis is a loyal member of the Finance Committee with attendance and contributions to every meeting. This is what Phyllis has been doing for us for the past 10 years, and she is our Volunteer of the Year. With that, Charlie, I'm going to ask you to give some closing thoughts and adjournment. So Kim Lewis was on the board, and she more than once has helped me get through a board meeting, including I just omitted the whole board recognition. Who's the president of the board? Oh, Kelly is. Yeah. I want to get to here. Okay. So, sorry, I missed page 4 altogether. Our new board, as you just voted for, is going to be in place shortly, but I did want to mention we have 2 outgoing members. One is Kim Lewis, who has been serving the last 2 of 2 committee terms, so 4 years, and Sharon Green will be stepping aside as our treasurer after 2 years on the board as treasurer. So the 2026-27 board includes me, Beth Reiners. Could you just stand quickly, Beth, please? Carly Grubbs, where's Carly? Right next to her. The secretary is Barbara. She's in California and not standing. And we have 3 members at large, Chris Maelstrom, David Rosenberg, and we have a new member at large, Sue Holland. Is Sue here today? Yep, there she is. Okay. There are 3 ex officio members. They include Charlie our faith development director, who will be chosen in the coming weeks, and the immediate past president, which is Clay. I've scheduled a board retreat in June to refresh our strategic plan initiatives, prioritize our objectives for 26, 27, and to continue the process of developing a leadership pipeline for our congregation. All the best to this new board, and now I'll hand it off to Charlie.
Yes, David, it's really important to me to have people like David and that we can sit beside and do the work of this congregation in ways that we hope are in everybody's best interest. But I see here in this place, and you won me over years ago, of your value, your compassion, your mercy, your hope, the way that you see this world and the way that you live in this world, the way that you stay connected to this world. And I see in us that greatness that I wish to continue to hold out in our community. I still am looking forward to the time when we have to park people in different parts of the grass so that we can get enough room in here. I still see a time when we grow beyond our walls. I still see that time because I see the value of who you are and what you bring and the words that you have and the heart that's behind it. And that's what innervates me every morning. That's what gets me up to get here, is because of you. God bless you. Anything else we should do? Yes. We'll extinguish the flame now. Thank you, Beth, if you would, please.
Please stand if you're willing and able. I'm going to yell. And join with me to say the traditional words that we use for extinguishing the chalice. While we extinguish this flame, we continue to carry in our hearts the light of truth,
The warmth of community and the fire of commitment until we are together again.